What's going on, everybody? We're excited. It is day one of Dykema 2026. I say day one because it's actually when it kicked off, but many of us have been here all week because the growth of this meeting is amazing. But what we wanted to do is spend time, speaking of amazing, is the amazing presenters and people that are here at this meeting to have them share a little bit about what they shared when they were on stage. So I'm very excited and honored to be with Pat Bauer, who is the CEO and President of Heartland Dental, as well as with DeAnn McClain, who is the Chief Operating Officer and Executive Vice President. And I just found out, we were talking, like 30 years you've been here.
Yes.
And Pat, how about you? Same?
29.
29 and 30. You started in Dr. Workman's office, which is, I love that story, which is crazy.
Yes.
And you were saying you knew nothing about dentistry other than the fact that you needed to come twice a year.
Right,
which is very important.
Yes,
Which is very
and
important.
a lot of orthodontia, but yes.
Okay, I love that. Well, thank you to the both of you for taking time. We literally just kind of grabbed you off stage. But Pat, I wanted to start with you. The presentation this morning, or the panel, I guess, was how to do performance at scale. You know, and I think about what you all have built at Heartland to continue to grow every year. Certainly not easy. I'd love to have you share a little bit about what you talked about.
Well, she had a lot of different questions, but in the end, it's about our culture and our values. So you just look at our vision, mission, and core values, and do we do that? I don't do anything anymore. Once you scale it, I just make sure and reiterate the message. What are we doing? When we do an acquisition, because we talk about what do you do, we don't necessarily change their culture. We want to make sure they will match our culture. They will be a good match for us, not just somebody we have to change. And so knowing that their values are closer to ours, because it's hard to integrate anything if they don't even agree with you from a value perspective. And so we have a saying that if you're not nice, you can't work here.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody else thinks you're not nice, I probably will think they're not nice. Let's not do an acquisition with them. So it's more of that, making sure that our values are just lived everywhere we go.
Yeah.
So.
And at the operations level, I always think about the business part of dentistry, the clinical part of dentistry. I see you as this bridge, right, to kind of keep things going. So from your perspective, what's that been like to continue to grow at scale, but, you know, like Pat said, make sure that you're maintaining, you know, everybody moving and rowing in the same direction?
Sure. Well, I talked about it on stage, and I say it a lot, and I use this helix, that operations is clinical and clinical is operations. And that was really born from Dr. Workman and Pat working so closely together, and we just have built our entire ops organization from that, making sure that every decision that we make, we have an ops business person in the room, and we have a clinical leader right next to them, making the decision together, making sure that it has aspects from both. And I think that's really done us a lot of good things, because it makes sure that, you know, if it's a good business decision, it has to be a good clinical decision, because the patient is the one that the doctor's going to ultimately be taken care of, and we want it, and our job is to support them. So how can we support them if we don't have both of those aspects as a part of that every decision we make?
Yeah. So Pat, you know, one of the common things I've heard in the 22 years I've been in dentistry is that when dentists go to dental school, they don't learn the business aspect of it.
Right.
How has, you know, speaking to DeAnn's point, how has their acclimation to business grown over the years? Like when you look at the growth of the organization, like do you feel like, I mean, again, the structure of the organization, you all have helped them so much on the business side to help them work with patients. But do you feel like that has increased over the years, that the clinicians are seeing and understanding the importance of the business side?
Yeah, we have to teach them. I mean, they don't get it still in school very much. I mean, get a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, we still have to teach them about the business. We have to make sure that we're totally transparent, so everybody sees everybody's P&L.
Yeah.
So every office has their own P&L. Every team member sees it. The doctors see it. Yeah. Anybody can see it from another office. And so the transparency is we're trying to teach them the game of business. It's the old book by Jack Stack, but the game of business, how do you teach them? You have to show them how to do it. And so part of our whole educational process is getting them to understand it. They go to classes, they get it, they understand how their compensation model works. Most of them don't when they join us.
Right.
And so we have to keep on teaching them. So they're very open to it because they want to be successful. What I know is the dentists want to be successful, so they come to us. I think somebody said on stage, 60% of them want mentoring and education. That's still the number one reason why they join Heartland. They want education. They want to learn. They want to know how to become a better dentist and a better leader in leading their practices, because they don't get it much. So it's still a major part, and it's still the most rewarding thing to see when dentists really love it. And so it's much better because they really get it. So.
And you have that challenge in balancing the business with the clinical,
Sure.
so that the clinical doesn't get overtaken by the business and all of that, which, I mean, for those of us, again, that know and understand how difficult that is, it's a very difficult balance. How have you done that over the years?
Sure. We talk a lot about we are doctor-led, and by making sure that that doctor-led premise is at the base of everything, we talk a lot to our doctors about what is your clinical philosophy. We want them to have all the autonomy. They take care of the patients. It's their license. It's their practice. And so how do we support that? So we make sure that we talk to them about what do you want the care to look like for your patients? And then we can use data and KPIs and metrics to show them when that is or isn't happening. And it's not that we're dictating anything from a Heartland perspective. It's just showing them their own information, their own patient care, stacked next to what they want it to be, whether that's the X-rays they take or any KPI that they're looking at, perio, diagnosed, crowns, any of those things. We can show them through data, and that helps to bridge that, to make sure that, again, there's a strong business perspective and a clinical perspective.
And Rick mentioned it on stage earlier in the day, and he called it treatment planning for predictability. So we just use tools because we can't tell a dentist what to do, right? But we can hold them accountable to what they say they want. And so if you tell me you want that, now your whole team knows you want that. Now they can work together on delivering what the doctor wants. And then we give them the data, as she said, to show them, are you delivering what you believe you should be delivering? And that's a beautiful marriage. It's not, you have to do more crowns. You have to, what do you want to do? You diagnosed them. Does that mean you want to do them? Well, then let's help you get patients to say yes. Because you want to do them and you know the patients need the care. Trust me, there's so much care that needs to be done. We don't have to worry about that part.
Yeah, I was talking to Rick and Steve when we had our conversation. I spent some time at a DSO, and I was doing some analysis one year, and we were looking at if the patients came in twice a year for hygiene, which we know a large percentage don't. And you just look at that, there's not enough hygienists in that organization to be able to solve it. And so I think that gets lost a lot in regards to the number of practices, and it doesn't always get matched up to the number of practices that you all have, which is a lot, versus the amount of patients that need care.
So much
my hope is, and I think that was kind of the message this morning, was let's find a way as a profession, as an industry, to get those patients healthy.
That's good.
Absolutely.
So what are you most excited about when you look out the next couple of years?
It's a good time to be in dentistry. I mean, there's so much. You think about the number of patients that need care. We just need to make sure we can marriage the number of doctors with that, because our growth, I mean, honestly, there's so much growth available to us. It's just that we have to make sure that we have our processes in place to make sure that we're taking care of the doctors the way they need to be so they can be successful. And so it's just we're so blessed to be in this industry and to be in where people will have teeth. That's not going away. And they need help. I mean, Curidon has been a massive improvement. I'm pretty sure my grandkids will never have to have a drill. Because if they brush and floss and they get a regular exam, if they have a small lesion, it can go away. And we never had that capability before. And so there's just so many technologies. I mean, honestly, it's super. There's just so much opportunity. My wife's like, are you ever going to slow down? I'm like, well, it's so fun. I mean, there's just so much to do. There's so much to be great at. So it's pretty cool.
And recently I had some conversations with some people outside the industry, and I was blown away because they were asking me questions about dentistry. They're like, oh, we're hearing a lot about dentistry. We're hearing about the technology that's coming into dentistry. I thought, to your point, that is really exciting.
It's super
people
cool.
finally realize that it's important to your oral health is important, right? What are you excited about when you look out, whether it be at the organization or just dentistry in general?
I think it's echoing what Pat was talking about. I think that there's so much of what my team gets to support at the practice level. You talked about it on stage, from especially a business assistant's job. We say it's the hardest job in the whole company, and it is, because they are dealing with intake of patients on the phone. They're dealing with the patient coming to the front desk to check in, treatment plan presentation, filing that insurance claims. Like, I could go on and on and on. And so I just see so many opportunities coming to fruition around rev cycle, using Patient Prism with, how we answer phone calls and learn those aspects, to, just all the pieces of their workflows, AI helping really, even pull the clinical portion down to the insurance claim. It's just, I could go on and on.
Yeah.
And it's just,
Yeah.
it's exciting to see how much we can change their job so they can truly take care of the patients that are in front of them.
I think what's cool about what you all have built is, when I was thinking about it from a company perspective, is that now, as you know, there are companies, you mentioned Patient Prism, that have enough of a sample set with as many practices as you all have to really test if this technology is going to work. And I know Bob mentioned it on stage. It's like, AI has been exciting. Maybe there'll be a little AI graveyard. Hopefully, but that's just the nature of business as that happens. But what's that been like to be able to be the organization that can test all these newer technologies? And then a lot of the, others in dentistry are looking to you guys for that.
Oh yeah, I mean we're a hotbed. I want to test a lot of things, but it still bothers operations. So we have to be careful. But we have a hotbed of ability because of our regions. We're in our size. We can test a lot of things. It has to be done right. It has to be rolled out properly. But the opportunities are massive because I can't just say, hey, that's a good idea, let's roll it out everywhere. That's a big mistake. So we have to be careful, but we have that ability because we have so many great doctors that want to be better and will try things. Yeah, I'll try that. Can I try it? We're now doing voice notes, so we don't, it's a medical, it's everywhere you go. It's not a dental. And so we're really working on that right now. The amount of time it'll help doctors and their teams with charting, accuracy. I mean, that performance alone, then just imagine now we have all that data digitally because we're listening. So now what can AI do with that? I mean, it's mind blowing. And the doctors are like, okay, I just don't want it to screw up my day. And because it will if we don't do it right. And so we have a good partner, NVIDIA is our partner in that, but it's making sure that it works well. And so you're right, the opportunity to test things is
well, and you know
fun.
this, even all the way down to the individual practice when a clinician goes to a meeting and discovers a new technology, right? Like when Pat gets excited about something and comes to you, and then their team is like, okay, great, we're excited about this, but how are we going to implement it? And at scale, obviously much different for you guys, but the opportunity is there. I think that's what's most exciting.
We just have to manage how often, how soon, how much. Too many changes freaks people out, and so it's that change management, which she's really good at. She's really good. She's a master at it. But everybody else isn't. So they want everything, everything now, and she's like, "Whoa, we can't. It's going to screw up our month. It's going to screw up our, So it's a hard game to play when you get this size. I think
it's important. Technology is only a portion of the actual integration. So you got to get that right first and foremost. But then for us, especially trying to do things at scale, specifically, it has to fit into our workflows. So we've done lots of things, and I've had some of my colleagues come and say, "Well, that's check that box. I implemented X," and I'm like, "Okay, but did you take away Y?" No, So it's how it fits in the workflow, and so that takes a lot of working hard, smart, and together with everybody, all the stakeholders, getting everybody thinking deeply about it, and really making sure that technology, works, because that's first and foremost. But then, how does it fit into everything else that gets done? Because our teams in the field are just going to pull their hair out if it doesn't.
It's hard.
If it's not efficient.
Last thing I want to do, you mentioned it. I want to shine a light a little bit on your career, and the reason why I want to say this is because I've talked to a lot of dental assistants and hygienists and dentists over the years that start in a practice, and as you both know, they may think that this is that's what your career will be, right? You could, many will work in an individual practice for 20 years and in the same role, and they love that. But when I look at the growth of this DSO industry and what it has meant for individuals that may think that that's all they're ever going to do, and now look at what you've done, right? I mean, what's that been like when you think about where you started to kind of, I asked Rick this. I was like, did you ever imagine that this is what this organization would turn out to? But how about you, from your perspective, where you started?
Just blessed beyond belief. I had the opportunity to grow up with Pat and Dr. Wortman on both sides, and just encouraging me all along the way. And then just the leadership opportunities, being able to continue to grow myself from that perspective. I would have never, if you looked back at in 1996 when I started with the company, and just looked at the person I was then to who I am now, which is a lot younger. But it's just the maturity, but the leadership growth, and that came from Heartland, so it really is a blessing for so many people. I have so many people on my team that are now either vice presidents or regional directors, or I can go on and on, all different roles that started as a dental assistant or a business assistant. Not that there's anything wrong with those roles, because like I said, they're the hardest jobs in the office. And so everybody can grow if they want to aspire to more. There's opportunity. If they want to be the best business assistant possible, we've got great tools and resources for them too. So it's just a lot of opportunity.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
Last thing I want to ask you is this meeting. We were talking before we came on here. You were at the first one.
Yeah, the very first one.
You and a bunch of attorneys.
my one attorney and all the rest are attorneys. Yes. Yeah. It was really something.
What it has become, and just it's pretty spectacular, right? What Brian has done.
It's amazing
And-
to
and
watch
it-
him grow.
Yeah.
Watch him grow. What he's been able to create. We went on an hour-long walk this morning, and just to see him grow, and this is the best meeting in the country.
Yes.
And so there's not another better one. And how can you emulate that even from our own? We have our own winter conference, and so our people are here watching what they do, how they do it. How can we be better at it? I might not make a movie like Brian. That's a lot of work. But just watching it is so cool, and how many people he's helped, and how he's helped the industry by making this. He's very on time. Being late is not like Brian. This is not making him happy when we're already behind. And so but he runs a really tight show, and that is just amazing to watch.
Well, when I think about it, now that the last couple of years have talked about kind of the ups and downs in the industry, I think about the organic nature of everybody helping each other out.
Yes,
and
that's what this does.
and how important that is. And this meeting has definitely been that thread that's kind of
He allows
kept us all
everybody to
going.
get together.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it's up to you, man. Everybody's here.
Absolutely.
You can talk to everybody, and you can learn. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much. Appreciate the
Thank
both
you
of you.
very
This
much.
has been
Appreciate
great.
it.
Enjoy the rest of the event and all the great stuff that you're doing in Heartland.
All right. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.